At the beginning of the movie, we are introduced to a man named Elliot who is going on a weekend trip with his daughter Ridley. As Elliot's plane lands, he heads off in his car to meet his boss. On the way, he gets a call from his boss, who is angry because Elliot is already an hour late. The plan for the weekend was for Elliot to visit his boss, who is in the final stage of cancer. Elliot, a lawyer and the company's manager, was supposed to help his boss with property matters and finalize the will, and the boss intended to promote him and hand over the company. So, Elliot was very excited. While speaking with his boss on the phone, Elliot suddenly sneezes due to his dust allergy, causing him to get distracted while driving. Something appears in front of the car, and they almost have an accident. When Elliot and Ridley get out to check, they are shocked to find a baby unicorn injured after colliding with their car. It had purple-colored blood. They were both seeing a unicorn for the first time and were amazed. Suddenly, the unicorn's horn begins to glow, and when Ridley touches it, she is transported to another world. In that magical world, Ridley feels amazing, but soon she hears someone screaming. She returns to her own world and sees her father hitting the unicorn to put it out of its misery. Elliot kills the unicorn to end its pain, but Ridley is upset by this. To hide the incident, they decide to take the unicorn's dead body with them and drive off. Later, they arrive at the boss's house where Elliot meets with him. The boss tells Elliot that he knows he doesn't have much time left and is ready to die. He wants to hand over the company to Elliot because he trusts him more than anyone else. Elliot then starts discussing some business proposals. The boss begins signing property and business documents, but suddenly stops and says he wants to spend more time with Elliot and his daughter to get to know them better. Meanwhile, Ridley is going upstairs when the boss points out there's blood on her face. Ridley is surprised and looks out the window at the car where the unicorn's body was. She goes to the bathroom and washes her face, only to realize that not only is the unicorn's blood gone, but all the pimples and marks on her face have disappeared. She understands that this happened due to the unicorn's blood that splashed on her while Elliot was hitting it. Excited, she rushes to her father and insists they leave immediately, but Elliot refuses. He says they can't leave yet because the boss wants to spend time with them. While looking at the documents, Elliot suddenly realizes something odd. He sees everything clearly without his glasses. He remembers the boss was about to transfer everything to his wife and daughter. Just then, they hear someone screaming outside. They rush out and are shocked to see the unicorn alive. It had broken the car window and escaped. The bodyguard, frightened, shoots at it. Everyone is stunned. Elliot decides not to hide the truth anymore and tells the boss that the unicorn had appeared suddenly in front of their car, causing the accident. Ridley also shares that her pimples disappeared because of the unicorn's blood. Elliot then realizes that his dust allergy has also vanished and that his vision is now perfect. The boss understands that the unicorn has healing powers. It might even cure his cancer. So he decides to keep the unicorn and bring in his team to study it and extract its blood for medical use. That night, Elliot visits Ridley in her room and asks what she felt when she touched the unicorn's horn. Ridley says she entered another world where she saw her mother. She insists that the unicorn has something special and they shouldn't let the boss's family have it, as they're greedy. She wants to take the unicorn back and leave, but Elliot refuses, fearing it might hurt his chances of promotion. Angry and disappointed, Ridley kicks him out of the room. Outside, Elliot meets the boss's son, who says they are going to be rich soon. Just then, they hear screams from the forest and everyone rushes to their rooms in fear. Back in her room, Ridley looks at a family photo. Behind her mother's picture, she notices a background image of a unicorn. She then searches online and learns that in ancient times, many hunters and kings tried to hunt unicorns but failed. Only a girl with a pure heart succeeded. With her help, a unicorn was captured and made a royal slave. After the French Revolution, unicorn history was distorted, and they began to be portrayed as monsters. After reading all this, Ridley falls asleep but has terrifying dreams of a dark jungle. The next morning, researchers arrive and take Elliot to a lab for blood tests. The scientists want to study how the unicorn's blood has affected them. In the boss's private lab, many doctors and scientists run tests on the unicorn. They discover that the unicorn's blood and horn powder can heal wounds and possibly cure any disease. They decide to conduct the first experiment on the boss himself, who agrees because he feels he has nothing to lose. Before the experiment begins, they notice the unicorn's horn is emitting stronger signals. The boss, who is sitting beside Elliot, says he feels no pain and thinks he might be getting healed. He thanks Elliot for bringing the unicorn into his life and calls him his business partner. Elliot is happy. The boss's son notices Ridley is still researching unicorns. Soon after, the boss walks out of bed, completely healthy. Everyone is shocked to see him fully cured. The doctors can't believe that late-stage cancer could be healed so quickly. Everyone, including Elliot and the boss's family, is thrilled. But Ridley is not as happy. The boss decides to move the unicorn to their headquarters for further research and calls wealthy businessmen to invest in this miracle cure. While the others are celebrating and drinking the unicorn's blood, Ridley tries to warn them about its history. How hunters who tried to kill unicorns often met misfortune. She pleads with them to free the unicorn, fearing disaster might strike. But no one listens. The boss gets angry and stares at Elliot. Ridley realizes everyone has become blinded by greed and decides not to be part of it. She asks Elliot to come with her, but he refuses. Frustrated, she leaves the house and sees a strange, bright light in the sky. Preparations are underway to take the unicorn to the boss's headquarters. As two doctors begin moving the unicorn's body using a special machine, they start receiving unusual signals from the unicorn's horn, signals much stronger than before. The doctors realize they won't be able to control this surge of energy. Before they can figure out what to do, all the lights go out, and every electrical device shuts down. Seeing the blackout, the boss gets worried and sends Elliot to check on the unicorn. When Elliot arrives, he discovers that the unicorn has gone out of control and in a fit of rage has pierced one of its horns into a doctor's body. Elliot also notices a shadow and realizes that a loud roar is coming from outside. It's two large unicorns, the parents of the baby unicorn, who have come to take their child back. As soon as the guards see the unicorns, they open fire. One of the unicorns attacks the car where Ridley is sitting. Seeing this, Elliot runs toward the car, pulls Ridley out through the other door, and jumps to safety with her. He manages to save her, but now the unicorn is charging directly at Elliot. Ridley urges him to run, and she distracts the unicorn to protect him. As the unicorn gets close, Ridley prepares to flee. But something strange happens. It doesn't attack her. She's shocked. Even when it's close to her, it does nothing. Instead, its horn starts to glow. Curious, Ridley slowly reaches out to touch its horn. But just then, the guards attack the unicorn again. Hearing the gunshots, it flees. Afterward, they find blood on the ground and realize the unicorn has been wounded by the guards. In the next scene, the boss's son confronts Ridley. "Why didn't you tell us that the unicorn's parents might come to attack us?" he accuses. Ridley responds, "I tried to tell everyone at the time, but no one listened." She then reveals something surprising. She feels a strange connection with the unicorn. "When I touched the baby unicorn's horn, I was transported to another world. I feel like there's some deep connection between us." Everyone is stunned. The boss's wife says, "I saw that the unicorn didn't attack you. Maybe that's because of this special connection." Ridley takes this moment to plead with them. "You should let the baby unicorn go, it's already dead." But the boss, acting cunningly, says, "I'm not going to let the death of this creature go to waste. In fact, I'll capture those wounded unicorns too and bring them to headquarters. We'll extract as much benefit from them as we can." Meanwhile, the boss's son secretly visits Dr. Patia. While talking to her, he slyly steals the powder made from the unicorn's horn, knowing she would never willingly hand it over. He then goes off alone and starts using the powder like a drug. The moment he inhales it, his eyes light up. Ridley, on the other hand, sits alone in her car, not wanting to be around such greedy and cruel people. She feels helpless watching the unicorns suffer, unable to stop them. Looking up at the sky, she sees a bright light again. She thinks, "Maybe I shouldn't leave my dad alone here." She sees something taking shape in the light and rushes back inside the house. She gathers all the unicorn paintings she had made and tries connecting them together. As she studies them, she discovers that unicorns have the power to heal their own wounds. She worries that the boss and Elliot might be trying to capture wounded unicorns, and that could provoke an attack. She quickly messages Elliot to warn him of the danger. Meanwhile, in the forest, the boss and Elliot are searching for the unicorns when Elliot's phone buzzes. He reads Ridley's message and realizes they are in serious danger. Before he can act, a unicorn appears and charges. Not at Elliot, but at one of the guards. The unicorn attacks. Seeing this, the boss and Elliot flee, but the unicorns start chasing them. When they reach home, the unicorns catch up. The boss, instead of running, tries to control one of them. But the unicorn overpowers and kills him by driving its horn into his body. Seeing this, the rest of the people rush into the house and lock all the doors and windows. Elliot announces, "No one is leaving the house until help arrives." He tries to call the police, but realizes the unicorns have cut the power supply. There's no way to contact the outside world. They're trapped. Ridley had tried to warn them, but they were all blinded by greed. Now, they couldn't even open the electric gate because of the power outage. The boss's wife declares, "One of us has to risk their life to save the others." She suggests Elliot and the doctor go out and kill the unicorns. Both are shocked, thinking, she could go herself. But she's sending us? Still, they have no choice but to obey. Before leaving, the doctor puts the unicorn horn into a case and tells Elliot, "She's risking our lives to save her own. We need to think about ourselves now." She warns Elliot that the boss and his wife are selfish people who only care about their own benefit. Together, the doctor and Elliot carry the baby unicorn's body outside so the parents can see it. They open the electric gate too. As the gate opens, the boss's wife tries to escape, but then remembers her son is still inside. He, meanwhile, is addicted to the unicorn powder. Without it, he starts to weaken. When the unicorns arrive and see that one of the baby's horns is missing, they become enraged and kill the doctor. Elliot runs inside to get Ridley, and the boss's wife goes in to fetch her son. The boss's son accuses Ridley, "You told us to let the unicorn go, but it was all a lie. You have a special bond with the unicorns. You could have controlled them yourself." He had seen the paintings and says, "When even mighty hunters and kings failed to control unicorns, a beautiful girl came and did it. That girl is you. Now you'll control them." He snatches the horn case from Elliot, who was planning to return it to the unicorns. Elliot now realizes how selfish these people truly are. Not wanting Ridley to suffer anymore, Elliot resigns from the company right there in front of them. Before anyone can stop him, the unicorns storm into the house, roaring. Elliot and Ridley lock themselves in a room while the boss's wife and son are left outside. The wife begs her son to return the horn to the unicorns to save them, but he refuses. He needs the powder to satisfy his growing addiction. Trying to save them both, she grabs the case to take out the horn, but it's empty. Elliot had already removed it. Inside the locked room, Ridley is shocked to see the horn in Elliot's hand. He says, "I didn't want to risk your life. That's why I took the horn. You should escape." But Ridley refuses to leave her father behind. Elliot says, "If you survive, I'll have fulfilled my promise to your mother. I promised her I'd always protect you." With a heavy heart, Ridley walks out of the room. The unicorns approach Ridley, but instead of attacking, they stop and lower their heads. Their horns begin to glow softly, illuminating the dark hallway in a magical light. Ridley stands still, not out of fear, but awe. She gently lifts the horn Elliot had saved and holds it out to the unicorns. The mother unicorn steps forward, tears glistening in her large eyes. With a soft sound, almost like a sigh, it gently touches the broken horn with her own. A faint, pulsing energy begins to swirl in the air. Suddenly, a beam of light shoots from the sky and surrounds them. For a moment, everything is still. And then, something miraculous happens. The body of the baby unicorn lying outside begins to levitate. The baby unicorn opens its eyes. It is alive. Elliot and the rest of the people inside watch in disbelief as the unicorn family is reunited. The mother unicorn nuzzles her baby, and the father lets out a proud roar. The house moments ago filled with fear is now silent with awe. But just then, the boss's son, still drunk on the unicorn powder's effect, stumbles out of the house, clutching another vial. "No, that power is mine," he screams. He raises a gun toward the unicorns. The boss's son fires, but the bullet dissolves in the air. The boss's son collapses from the powder's effects. The guards finally arrive, too late to witness the miracle. But Elliot, Ridley, and a few others know what really happened. Later, Ridley sits outside the house, looking at the night sky. Elliot joins her. "You were right," he says quietly. "They weren't just magical creatures. They were guardians. And you were their chosen one." Ridley smiles softly. "I just listened to my heart." From that day on, no one ever saw the unicorns again. But sometimes, late at night, when the moon was full and the wind blew just right, Ridley could hear a distant neigh, echoing from the stars, and she knew they were watching, protecting, forever.